And if we can have Pastor Ken Davis from Calvary Baptist Church come and give our invocation.
Mayor, Council, I did want to say very quickly, this Thursday, we are opening Calvary's Closet, a closed closet for free for those in need at Calvary Baptist Church from 4 to 7. The times will be on social media, and we appreciate everybody's donations, and we want folks to come out as a ministry of Calvary Baptist Church. Let's pray. Lord Jesus, we thank you for this day. Lord, we thank you for the gifts that you've given us, Lord. Lord, I just come to you now. I pray that you would be with each and every word that is said, every action done, Lord. Pray that, Lord, you would give wisdom and guidance and protection over everyone here, over our city, our county, our state, and our nation. We ask it all in Jesus' name. Amen.
They join the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. Pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, we're going to move into the citizen comment period. Just as a note of order, we will allow 3 minutes to for citizen comment as we call you up, and we will start with Barry Jones.
Evening. My name is Barry Jones. I'm a store manager at Walmart. And thank you, Mayor and Council, for hearing me. I appreciate that. I prayed for God to take this speech away from me and to give it to somebody that would come to me. And obviously that didn't happen, so we're going to see if I got this or God has a good sense of humor. He did, however, give me a wonderful woman, Diana Jones. She's an awesome person. She's my speechwriter, my organizer, accountant, office manager, counselor, doctor, decorator, head cook. I am the bottle washer though. Advisor, and again, speechwriter. So I'm here to update you on some exciting news that's happening in our store in Walmart. The store's undergoing a $6 million remodel. It's a substantial investment that will elevate the customer experience in our store and benefit Liberty County and the surrounding areas. I'm most excited about our whole store generator. It's a generator that is big as an 18-wheeler. When the lights go out, which it did a couple weeks ago, it was out for like 4 hours. Our store continued to run as if nothing had occurred. And such would happen if we have a hurricane or some type of disaster that would occur. Highlights of our remodel include customer-friendly shopping carts. They just came in, and as we were shopping yesterday, the customers were amazed at how different they were from the previous shopping carts and how easily they work. I mean, it's got a cup holder, a phone holder, and it's just really nice. We have updated self-checkouts that are at both exits instead of just on the food side now. It's convenient for our customers, faster and more accurate scanning. Very, very excellent. Everything in the store will be remodeled, new shelving, of course, a new paint job. The aisle markers will be more customer friendly to where you can find everything that you're looking for. The pharmacy will be remodeled. We will also have a mural in our food entrance that will depict the current area in our store. The previous mayor Mayor Mudd had not gotten into office very well. Yeah, I think it was like a week after I had to turn it in. We chose the Dayton Star and also the Old School Museum to be on that mural. So it will definitely depict Dayton as part of our community. And I'm proud of that. Dayton itself, I love. Two things would make Dayton the perfect town. Chick-fil-A and overpass over the railroad. So, is there any plans? Why are y'all here? We also have a total deli upgrade. Every piece of equipment in the deli would be brand new. Reorganization of all the departments. They are enlarging our pet foods and also our sporting goods and hardware to be the largest. Expansion of our online pickup and delivery area. We currently do over 240 online orders a day. That will enlarge where the capacity could be at least 3 times that. Of course, there are many other improvements.
Sir, I apologize. They're looking at me and I've got to cut you off.
Okay.
We appreciate you coming and we appreciate what Walmart does for our community.
All right. Thank you. I would like to invite you to our grand opening on November 3rd at 9 a.m. To give a short speech if you could.
Thank you.
Thank you.
November 3rd at 9 a.m.
Yes.
Okay, moving to our next citizen comment period. We invite Amanda Morales, keeping in mind that we are keeping it to around 3 minutes, and we're here to listen.
Okay, I'm gonna try to speak fast. My name is Amanda Morales, a grieving mother, and I have been dealing with the unnecessary tragic loss of my daughter, Alyssa Salazar. The city council did approve to hire a private investigator to investigate this tragedy. Jesse Prado was the investigator. Mr. Prado wrote a report which was fictitious, incomplete, and done with malicious intent. There have been 4 investigations done, and no one cared about my statute of limitations running out or the conclusions of these 4 investigations, which all state the same thing. The Dayton police officers failed to do their jobs according to their own protocols, which is clearly dereliction of duty. Mr. Prado failed to interview all the witnesses involved, especially Alex Murillo, my daughter's date, who drove Alyssa to the sports bar that fatal night. He, per witnesses, Eric's statement stated that Bernice Montano, who had been drinking and doing shots all night, was indeed intoxicated. He also states that only 2 officers spoke to Montano for a total of 7 minutes the whole night, and no one asked her, has she been drinking, with open containers of alcohol and drugs at the scene with probable cause. Dayton is a drug-free zone. He did not speak to all 8 people who he states saw her that fatal night, only 2 officers. He states everyone states she was in shock, but I am an EMT, and shock is a dire emergency, and if left untreated, it could be fatal. And I am giving you the report from Dayton PD that states Montano was never treated for shock. I am also giving you the pictures from the body cam, which I finally received almost 2 years later, where Montano is indeed intoxicated and throwing up all the alcohol that she was drinking, which would put her at 0.012% intoxicated, and the limit is 0.8%, which is twice the limit. There were no animals such as deers and cows per the witness who called 911 and Mr. Prado. She was given a citation for speeding, failure to control speed for Chief Woods, which caused her to roll over her vehicle. He states his conclusion is she fell asleep as the skid marks have her in the middle of all 4 lanes. According to the statutes of Texas, if you fall asleep behind a wheel and kill another human being, you will be charged with vehicular manslaughter. She has not. Mr. Prado states all the officers there saw the open containers of alcohol and drugs, but no one says nothing to each other, and they were training a new recruit who is also failing to do the job he was hired to do. They were all standing around smoking and spitting tobacco while my daughter was being crushed to death with Montano's vehicle on top of her. He also concluded that Montano's seatbelt on the front was broken. The officers also failed to get a search warrant to take and search my daughter's cell phone and refused to give to me for 5 months, which is a 4th Amendment constitutional violation, but gave Montano her cell phone that same night. My daughter was not the driver. The police report is also false as it states there was no drugs and alcohol. No tests were done, no arrest, with an active warrant in her possession from Harris County. No citations for drugs and alcohol. Mr. Prado states 3 times that I am depressed, and that is false. I am angry at this conspiracy to commit fraud. Also failure to intervene by Dayton police, amongst many other violations due to their failures. I am told my daughter will not get justice because the police failed to do their job. Why should Alyssa go without her equal justice to all over Dayton police misconduct? I am asking you to consider aggravated vehicular manslaughter for Bernice Montano per Texas Penal Code, section 19.01. All you need is reckless and speeding, and she was doing both. The CID Terry Dale for Dayton states the search warrant for Montano's foes is a link to criminally negligent homicide, which Prado failed to mention. Mr. Prado states on page 12, Bernice Montano was involved in a one-vehicle fatality crash that caused the death of Alyssa Salazar. That was his conclusion, and I demand Bernice Montano to be held accountable or she will kill again. With no accountability, it will concur. Thank you, and I am pleading all evidence and photos from the body cam. Thank you for your time. Please consider aggravated assault with a vehicle. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving to our next citizen will be Tammy Campbell.
Greetings, Mr. Mayor and City Council members. I am Tammy Lane Campbell, the founder and executive director of the Honey Brown Hope Foundation. I am here not just as an advocate, but as a voice for justice, echoing the plea of Ms. Morales and her family who are pursuing justice for their beloved Alyssa Salazar. Alyssa was a victim not once, but twice when Dayton police botched the vehicular manslaughter crime scene that tragically took her life. On July 6, 2020, Alyssa's death was caused by a speeding driver intoxicated with open containers of alcohol and drugs. Sadly, she became a victim again when Dayton police ignored established law enforcement procedures by failing to conduct a sobriety test on the driver after a vehicular manslaughter, failure to carry out an inventory of the vehicle, failing to interview any witness, and adding insult to injury. Dayton disregarded its own investigation that revealed a vehicular homicide. Dayton police botched crime scene investigation has intensified Alyssa's family suffering, denied justice for Alyssa and her family, and put the public safety at risk. Let it be known that the Honey Brown Hope Foundation stands in solidarity with Alyssa's family, and that we, as a community, along with the family, the Greater Houston Coalition, challenging Dayton to establish public trust in the police force. We appeal to you, Mr. Mayor, and members of the Dayton City Council to stand on the side of justice and aid the healing process for Alyssa's grieving mother, sister, brothers, and all her loved ones. Their wounds run deep, and it's within your power to help them mend. On September 21st, Alyssa would have been 31. To earn her life and raise awareness about issues concerning police accountability and public safety, we respectfully request that you, Mr. Mayor, and members of Dayton City Council, proclaim September the 21st as Alyssa G. Salazar's Day. This declaration will serve as a symbol of your commitment of justice and to demonstrate your remorse for failing Alyssa and her family. The public is watching, Mr. Mayor and council members, and we are pleading for you to serve justice. Thank you for your consideration and your utmost attention.
Thank you, Ms. Campbell. Moving on to our last citizen comment, Ms. Sarah Pickering.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, staff, citizens. Council has has voted for increased spending, increased debt, and decreased tax base. Winston Churchill said that trying to tax yourself into prosperity is like standing in a bucket and trying to lift yourself up by the handle. Unless there's a majority vote to reconsider the budget and tax rate, you are all responsible for the increased taxes and increased debt. In the latest financial report, only the fiber fund is upside down. Revenues are over expenses in general fund, water, sewer, and solid waste. Looks like 3.6 million-ish extra revenue. Perhaps that could be used to maybe lower our taxes, buy down some debt, something. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vickery. Moving forward to presentations and updates.
Mayor, City Council, I'd like to give you an update on the sidewalk completion. I have a completion date of January 2024 for the sidewalks that are being installed on Highway 321 and the ones that on 1409. So TechSite did give us a date on those sidewalks to be completed. Also, I wanted you all.
I'm sorry. What was the date on that?
January 2024. Also, staff received an application from TCEQ for a proposed compost. We are reviewing an application right now. That particular project is to be located on Royalty Road. I will give you a little bit more update on that in my weekly report that I send out to City Council. But I just want to let you know we did receive it and we are investigating that particular application. Also, I'd like James Perkins to come up front and give you an update of what has been done today regarding Dayton.
Mayor, Council, just a real quick update. As you guys graciously approved the restart of DayNet and offering subscriptions to the community, we really didn't start full force until about 10 days ago. In fact, 15th, I believe. The 8th of September is when we actually started. Simply with just a Facebook post with a link to click on to garner interest in the community. In that time, if you look at your handout real quick, real simple graph, we had a total of 36 people over a 10-day period that has identified interest in DayNet. Now that seems like it could be a low number, but it's actually been, the traction has been really good. Of those 36, there were only 22 of them that were available or eligible within our servicing area. Out of the 22, we have a total of 11 new subscribers, and this is in a 10-day period. And we have another 12 that we're working on now just with contracts. And this is just really the beginning of it. So I'm very confident that as we get the word out more and more, the more that we advertise, I think that we're going to see a major turnaround in Dayton. So thank you guys for allowing us to start it back up.
Mr. Perkins, can you tell me how many commercial subscribers we've had or interest in that?
Yes, ma'am. The interest level isn't as high yet as the residential. So total commercial, I believe we have 4. We just activated a new subscriber, a new commercial subscriber Friday. So we're at the number 4 level.
And we'll add those 36 interests that actually got on the site and just inquired about it themselves. It's not that we went and knocked door to door, mailed out any solicitation. He had interest. He popped it up on Facebook and other.
Facebook only so
and
far.
They went online, filled out the information to inquire about it.
We have it on our website too.
It has not hit the website yet, the city's website.
We will.
That's, and the website's in a state of change. There's lots of information that still needs to change. As we get more and more time, our main focus really was to get the information out there and go through, kind of basically knock the rust off the cogs. I mean, there's a lot of rust that we have to get past, and get the processes back in place. Once we have those in place, then we'll literally be a full force group going after everybody that we can to get Dayton. So we'll expect you guys to subscribe.
I need phone service.
Can't
John,
help
we
you
agree with you on that.
there. Can't help you there just
There's
yet.
voice over internet.
Yeah, but I don't know how to do that. I need someone that does.
Any other questions? Thank you.
That'll be it.
Okay.
That'll be it from the city manager.
All right, moving on to, finance reports.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I will be giving an overview of our financials through August 2023, and this reports the major operating funds of the city. The budget is at 91.67% complete for this fiscal year. For general fund, we have total revenues at $10,511,123, or 96.8% of budget, which is 37.3% more than year to date. For total expenditures, we are at $8,269,691, or 82% of budget, which is 2% more than last year, year to date. Total revenues are over expenditures by $2,241,432 due to monthly transfers from other funds and several department savings. For the water and sewer fund, total revenues are at $6,761,244, or 108.3% of budget, which is 9.9% more than last year, year to date. The total expenses are at $5,335,796, or 85.9% of budget, which is 30% more than last year, year to date, due to monthly transfer to the general fund. Revenues are over expenses by $1,405,449 due to department trending within budget. Solid waste fund, total revenues are at $718,911, or 97.3% of budget, which is 10.1% more than last year, year to date. The total expenses are at $597,642, or 81.1% of budget, which is 5.8% more than last year, year to date, due to monthly transfer to the general fund and merchant fees. Revenues are over expenses by $121,269 due to department trending within budget. For the fiber fund, total revenues are $128,668, or 159.1% of budget, which is 1% more than last year, year to date. Total expenses are $253,881, or 18.3% of budget, which is 93.5% less than last year, due to not paying personnel and halting the project. Revenues are under expenses by $125,213 due to regular maintenance fees that need to be paid to continue servicing the few residents within it.
Leslie, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So with our transfers from the budget going into the general fund, before, we were sitting at approximately 90 days of reserves. With these transfers going into the general fund, what does that bring us up to in our reserves approximately?
As of now, we are it's actually 6 months reserve. And so right now we are meeting our reserve requirements.
Can you tell me approximately how much that has increased on the amounts that we're able to transfer in?
We're gonna transfer $3 million from water sewer into the general fund. Right now, we're still doing projections because we still have one more month that we have going. But if everything, based on my projections, we'll be increasing our income by 1.7 million in the general fund.
And approximately how much time does that give us in emergency reserves?
6 months.
So we would be increasing from 90 days to 6 months.
Yeah, because it's 6 months that we're supposed to have per our policy. It's 6 months, not 90 days.
Thank you.
One question I had, just for clarity. On the general fund, you said the total revenues are 10 million or 96.8% of the budget. And then you wrote, which is 37.3% more than last year today. So are we overspending what we budgeted for this time last year?
No,
Or
that
how- what
means
does that mean?
that means that we're receiving more income,
Okay. We're receiving 37% more income.
than last
Okay.
year.
Okay. Okay. And that's due to the increase in property taxes.
Well, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to do with property tax. Like, we have a lot of permits that sales tax, like, so it's not, the general fund doesn't only consist of property tax, it's also sales tax, it's also permits. It's also like other miscellaneous stuff that we get, selling metal, and, I mean, I'm sure it's not the whole budget. Yes, the property tax is part of our main, but we also get more money from other sources.
So permits, that's all these new businesses that are going in, changes that are going on. Those are things that we can't control, that we are,
The permit's not necessarily just new business. That could be a homeowner coming to do repairs to my home and coming in to obtain mechanical, plumbing, or electrical permit. You also have alcoholic sales use permits that come in. You need license for RV parks and manufactured home parks. So we have different types of permits that a person can obtain. As far as the new, we do have plating that's required, civil drawings review, which you also have to get a permit for that as well.
thank you.
That'd be it? Okay. Moving into the mayor, council, staff comments. Does the city council have any comments they want to make? If not, I do.
Well, I just wanted to thank Public Works, because we have had quite a few water main breaks, and they have had to work overtime, and I realize it is their job, but I wanted to say thank you for the extra hours that they have put in to deal with those broken water mains. We do know that they are dealing with aged infrastructure. So again, just kudos, thank you to the staff.
And especially given the heat situation that they've been having to deal with, working out there, oh, that must be miserable.
Also, I wanted to tell the city staff thank you for letting us beat up on them over this budget. I know that Leslie spent many hours, and so has Kimberly and Jennifer and others, as well as department heads. Y'all come to a couple of different meetings that we've asked for you to come, and I want to tell you thank you for that. I want to also say thank you to the council for making our city streets a priority and coming up with a budget that addresses the need for our street improvements. It is my honor to say that this council has allocated probably the highest street budget that the city of Dayton has ever had. And that speaks volumes about wanting to address our infrastructure, wanting to address our needs that we have. Also, our media section over here has informed me that I needed to say something about our Liberty County Prayer March. that will be in Liberty, October the 7th at noon, meeting at the gazebo. I'm assuming everybody knows where that's at. But we'll be starting there at noon, October the 2nd, or 7th, I'm sorry. Also, I wanted to tell Kimberly personally, thank you for the heated, lively discussion that we had on live streaming. And I want to say welcome to all of those that are on the live stream and tuning in. And we hope as council that more get involved with that. And so I want to say thank you. One other thing, I kind of scared Brandon a few minutes ago when I told him I'm going to bring something up that is going to translate into a future agenda item. And what that is a lot of our elderly use the post office, and they want to use that the little post office box out in front of the post office. As we know, several months ago that was removed. I've gotten a couple of calls about it, and so what I want to do is I want to present to the council that we would write a letter, action a letter to the U.S. Postal Postmaster, asking for them to replace that back into existence so that our citizens can have a little bit easier of a time trying to do their daily business. So just wanted to bring that up. And anybody else have anything they want to say?
Well, on the subject of the postal box, from what I've heard, it's primarily because of theft that's happened at night after hours, that they're having trouble with the boxes. So hopefully it's going to be secure enough to be able to overcome that barrier to having one out there.
All right, moving into the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda as written?
I move that we approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Okay, I have a motion to approve with a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Moving into the public hearing on our 2023-2024 fiscal year budget.
Mayor and City Council, we are required to host a public hearing on the 23-24 budget in order to meet all the requirements of the local government code, the election code, and the tax code. So the public hearing is now open, and I believe no one signed up to speak. So we must close the public hearing.
Okay, do we need a motion to close that?
You can just close it.
Okay, I'm closing the public hearing on the 2023-24 fiscal year budget and open the public hearing on the fiscal year 2023 proposed property tax rate of 0.66079870 per $100 of taxable value for tax year of 2023 to receive public comment on the rate.
And Mayor, by requirements, we are supposed to hold a public hearing on the proposed tax rate to give the public the opportunity to speak if they would like to speak about that. We did not have anyone sign up to speak.
Okay, I hereby close the public hearing on the fiscal year 2023 proposed property tax rate. And moving into action item A, consider with possible action on ordinance number 2023-20, approving and adopting a budget for the city of Dayton, Texas for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2023 and ending September 30th, 2024.
Mayor and council, this is something we have to do each year in order to adopt the budget. We've had 2 budget workshops where council discussed things and made recommendations which are reflected in the budget that you have in front of you for fiscal year 23-24.
Okay, if there's no other questions, can I get a motion to approve item A?
I I move that we approve ordinance number O 2023-20, approving and adopting the budget for the city of Dayton for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2023 and ending September 30th, 2024.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve with a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Item A is passed. Item B, consider with possible action on resolution number R 2023-82, ratifying the property tax increase reflected in the budget.
Mayor and council, council agreed to go with the voter approval tax rate since the city has a lot of repairs that need to be done throughout the city and to cover inflation costs for materials. The voter approval rate is the rate that generates the revenue needed to meet the city's debt service obligation plus 3.5% increase in revenue for operations and maintenance. This is the highest rate we could adopt without requiring voters' approval.
Okay, are there any questions?
Mr. Mayor, I would just point out, this is the two-step process, just so, I know we have some new folks on the council. So this one is just ratifying, recognizing that it's an increase, and then the next item is the vote on the tax rate. Just in case you're curious why it's on my glass.
I appreciate that. Okay, do we have any questions on ratifying the increase? Okay, can I get a motion?
Move that we approve resolution R 2023-82, ratifying the property tax increase reflected in the budget.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, I've got a motion to approve with a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed say no. Item B is passed. Item C, consider with possible action on ordinance number 2023-19, adopting an ad valorem tax rate for fiscal year 2023-2024, providing for the debt service funds for the 2023 tax year, and providing an effective date. And this is the actual approval of
Yes, sir.
of this process.
And in your packet, on your sheet that has like the action report, it says action requested at the bottom. That's specific language you have to use to make this motion. So, thank Congress for that.
On which what? I'm sorry.
It's on
What page?
I thought that was on the last one.
That's right.
Who's gonna be a motion? Do they both need to read it?
No, sir, just the first one. Make
Okay. Okay, can we get a motion to approve or disapprove? Item C?
So I move that we approve ordinance O 2023-19. This ordinance is adopting the tax rate for the fiscal year 2023-2024. The property tax rate will be increased by the adoption of the tax rate of 0.660798,710, which is composed of an M&O rate of 0.345237,146 and an INS rate of 0.315561,564.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay. All right, I have a motion to approve with a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed say no. Item C is passed. Item D, with possible consider with possible action on resolution R 2023-88, approving the 2023 SAP update for Dayton West Point Villages.
Mayor and council, we have Ms. Barnes with P3 Works here is going to present this to you guys.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney.
There we go.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As Brandon said, my name is Andrea Barnes, and I'm with P3 Works. We are the city spit administrator.
You can raise that up.
Oh, great. Perfect. Thank you. So the Public Improvement District known as West Point Villages was created by the city in August of 2021. And the first levy of assessments for improvement area number 1 was done on April the 18th of 2022. And per local government code, once that first levy is completed, you are required to provide an annual update, or the staff is required to provide an annual update to the city council each year. And that has been contracted to P3 Works, and so we have prepared the annual report that should be in your packet this evening. And that local government code, for your reference, that section is 372.013 that requires this annual report. And so I'll go through it, and if you have any questions, please let me know. So the final plat for the development for Section 1 was filed and recorded with Liberty County last September. And that consists of 128 residential lots and 7 non-benefited lots, which means that the non-benefited lots means that they are not assessed any assessment for the authorized improvements that were completed as a result of the development. Improvement area number 1 consists of a total of 250 lots. So as you can see, there are still other lots to be platted. 30 of those 250 lots are planned to be a lot type 1, and 220, which is the bulk of the lots, are planned to be what they have determined to be lot type 2. So your lot type 1 are 45-foot lots, and your lot type 2 are 50-foot lots. The authorized improvements that were approved by this council or a prior council were $7.5 million, and to date the developer has spent $4.6 million, or that would be as of March 31st. So that's 61.2% of the budget that was established by the city for the authorized improvements. And that's what the assessment is levied for, is to pay for the cost of those authorized improvements. So the development is paying for all of the authorized improvements itself, instead of the citizens of the community as a whole paying for those authorized improvements that benefit the homeowners within that development. Also, at the same time, TERS number 3 was created that was intended to provide a TERS credit of an annual maximum amount that would offset a portion of the PID assessment that would be due for each lot. However, the PID assessment has a 1 to 2 year lag following the PIDs, and so you will not see, or those property owners will not see those TERS credits until next year. So when I come back and give the report next September, August, September, then you will hear me say that they received TERS credits, and the assessed roll will show exactly how much TERS credit each property owner will receive. But this year there is $0 allocated for TERS credit, and that's because those property owners have to pay in their taxes first before they can receive the credit. Okay? The annual installment due January 31st of 2024 will be $546,790 for principal and interest, and that's all properties accumulated within that development. And then $39,615 for additional interest, and $73,322 for annual collection costs, giving a total assessment amount of $659,727. And I'll be happy, Mayor and Council, to answer any questions that you might have. I do also believe the developers here, Brandon, if they have any development-related questions.
The developer is here, and he also provided, which council you should have, which it does, an update to actually what is going on the ground. It would be what they'll let it have.
Sorry, correction, the developer said the lot type ones are 35 foot. Sorry, I apologize for that error.
One section.
We're trying, I apologize, we're looking through this, we're trying to find the numbers that you were just giving us, because of what you're giving us and what we have here are completely different.
Hey, no,
To
you're
agree.
looking on the wrong thing for the number she just gave.
Yes.
The number she just gave were in our packet.
Oh,
When you look in your package, it's page 203.
I apologize.
No problem.
Last number she gave were on page 5.
203 is at the very,
It's
very
at the
bottom.
bottom.
I will say that I'm pretty excited about this amenity plan here. Having a dog park, we've been needing one of those for a while.
And I will tell you, they've already purchased, the items for the park.
I guess maybe, for lack of no other question, a question for the developer would be, how on track do you feel like that you are with this development?
Good evening. My name is Ken Schotten with Waterstone Development. We're the developer of the project. Honestly, we started off a little bit slow. We were having a hard time getting power into the subdivision initially. But since March of this year, we've been able to accelerate. And actually, I'm happy to say that interest in the project has really grown. And what we're actually going to do is add a third home builder to the project and basically accelerate takedowns so that basically we'll have the subdivision fully constructed probably a little bit more than a year earlier than we originally anticipated. So right now we're constructing sections 2 and 3. Section 1 and 2 are part of IA1, which is the service and assessment plan that Andre was updating you on. Section 3 will be part of IA2. It's the second half of the project. We went ahead and just constructed it, and the amenity area that you're referring to is going to be in IA2 in Section 3. We'll have the dog park area and all that done probably in about 3 or 4 months. Like what Ms. Judge said, we've already ordered some of the materials, and they're down there doing final grade on the actual amenity area. The benefit too is that we're going to end up probably accelerating construction of sections 4, 5, and 6 probably into the first quarter of next year rather than the end of the year as we had originally anticipated because of the lot takedown. So we're going to end up actually, we've built section 1 separately from sections 2 and 3. We're going to probably construct sections 4, 5, and 6 all together. Granted, we'll do them in sequential order. We'll do section 4 mass grade, section 5 mass grade, section 6 mass grade, but then we'll come in and start storm sewer, sanitary, and water right afterwards. So we should be along. We're doing quite well.
And we'll tell you, council, the developer staff, as far as the amenities, what we would like to see. And I know we've had the public ask for a dog park. We looked into doing one at one of our existing parks and did not have the appropriate amount of space. So when I mentioned dog park, the developer said you got it.
So would that dog park be open to the public?
It is my understanding it is open to the public, general public.
Can we throw in an 18-hole golf course already?
You can find the space. We are going to have disc golf, a little bit of that, and we're going to have some horseshoes, and there's pickleball court we're going to put in, and we're going to have some nice little things for the subdivision and residents.
What, if you don't mind, who's the third building y'all are in?
It's under a letter of intent right now,
Okay.
so I'd rather not say, but I can tell you we had 2 other builders that also wanted the same position, so if things don't work out, we've got number 2 and 3 standing right there as well.
Okay.
But we're very optimistic as well.
Yeah, I drove through there about a month ago. I'm sure it's changed since then, but y'all were making some good progress back then.
Yeah, the second home builder who got a little bit late start has really accelerated production as you drive in down West Point. You can look to your right and see that they've really constructed a lot of houses.
Okay.
So Mayor and Council, Mr. Schott mentioned the prudent area too. Before we could assess any levy on the properties within prudent area two, we would be bringing back what they call amended and restated service and assessment plan. So every time he moves into different sections or what we call improvement areas, you'll receive an amended and restated. So you could see me sooner than next September or October, depending on when that happens. And tonight, what we need tonight is for you to approve the ordinance that levies the assessment for tax year 2023 on the properties within improvement area number 1, and accept the service and assessment plan.
And I assume, I'll put him on the spot, I'm assuming that our lovely attorney has taken a look at this and he agrees and approves?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So before we put it, ask for Leslie or Kimberly to put it on the agenda, it actually goes out to the entire work group, which consists of all of the city's consultants, which is bond counsel, your city attorney, your financial advisor. The developer has an opportunity to provide comments. So a large number of people have reviewed this document, this report that you have before you tonight.
All right. If there's no other questions, can I get a motion to approve item D?
Move that we approve resolution R 2023-88, a resolution by the City Council of the City of Dayton, approving the 2023 SAP update for Dayton West Point villages.
Okay, I've got a motion to approve with a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed say no. Item D passes. Item E, thank you very much. Item E, consider the possible action on resolution R 2023-80, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Dayton, Texas, accepting for filing of a landowner petition requesting the creation of a Dayton PID, Public Improvement District Number 5, finding the petition to be compliant with applicable laws, calling a public hearing to consider the creation of the Public Improvement District, authorizing and directing that the notice of the public hearing be given as required by law, providing for an immediate effective date and resolving other matters in connection therewith.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, there was a whole lot in that, but this is really a pretty simple one tonight. The city received a request from the landowner on this particular, let's say 200, just over 200 acre piece of land, requesting that we create a PID for it, a PID on that property. And they're working with a developer, which is D.R. Horton, that is working to purchase that piece of property to build houses on. And so what this item would do is it just, if y'all vote to approve this, it sets a hearing for next month to a hearing and a vote on whether or not to create the PID. So all you're doing tonight is essentially saying, thank you for turning your petition in. We accept that application, and now then we're going to set it for a hearing at a later date. And, you know, I just wanted to add one thing that we're going to do with this when we bring it back next month is have language that's already actually in the petition, which is a dissolution agreement, which is language that makes it so that if the seller ends up not selling it to the buyer, so say their deal doesn't go through for some reason, all parties agree that we're going to dissolve the PID, and you know, we all walk away and it's like it never happened. And so this is something that if it's purchased by the developer and they move forward, then it's here and it's great if y'all choose to go that way next month. But again, tonight all we're doing is saying thank you for turning it in. We're going to set it for a hearing next month. But we need a resolution that has all of this stuff in it to say that.
And Brandon, I'm certain that they look at, because if I noticed it, I noticed that they've noticed it, that there's a lot of, is it Union Pacific? And did I look at it wrong?
I don't think this one would have Union Pacific on it. I don't know, I can tell you the buyer has done a whole lot of due diligence on it, so.
Okay.
It's not in.
This is on 1960, going out towards 99.
Okay,
It's on the south side of 1960, so it's not close to a rail track.
All right. But I noticed barbed wire and I thought I noticed either gas or something. Okay. All right.
So I move that we approve resolution R 2023-83, a resolution of the city of Dayton accepting, requesting the creation of the Dayton PID District Number 5.
Okay, I have a motion. I have a motion to approve item E. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve with a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed say no. Item E passes. Item F, consider with possible action on resolution R number 2023-84 of the City Council of Dayton, City of Dayton, Texas, approving and authorizing the execution of the professional services agreement with the Dayton Public Improvement District Number 5 and resolving all of the matters therewith.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, this is for the same development that we just talked about. Under this agreement, the developer, who is D.R. Horton, as I previously said, would be agreeing to make a deposit of $30,000 with the city. And then once that gets below a certain level, I think it's $15,000, and they would add more money back into the pot, if you will. And the purpose of this is to make it so that if this doesn't go through, the city of Dayton is not out any money. Even if it does go through, the city of Dayton is not out any money. And so this money would be sitting in escrow to help fund any fees associated with this project that the city would have. And so.
Is this something that would, my concern is not the 30,000 initial deposit, but that they're keeping up with anything that goes beyond that.
Yes, sir. And that's once they say it's 30,000 in escrow.
Yeah.
I believe once it gets to 15,000, it's either 10 or 15. It's 15. Once it gets to 15,000, we tell them, and they write another check to get it back up. And so it's a kind of to keep it where the bank balance doesn't go below 15 for us. So that we're protected.
And you're monitoring this throughout the process?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And we can get an update on that process if we have to go to them and say, hey, we want more money.
Correct.
I think the council would be, would be of interest to that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, I fully expect that. Honestly, I think this will probably be enough. If you look at it, it has a budget in the back that's way more than this. But I think a lot of that would come in after they've already closed and after everything else. So I think, I want to say this was right around what it's cost last time we did one of these. So.
Okay. Any other questions?
I move that we approve resolution R 2023-84, authorizing the execution of professional service agreement for the Dayton PID District Number 5.
Okay. I have a motion to approve with a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Item F passes. Item G, consider with possible action on resolution R 2023-89, approving pay request number 1 by Carter Construction for the work completed in the month of July on the Stilson Road improvement project.
Mayor and City Council, you previously hired Carter Construction to perform the work to the industrial area, the EDA, the basket number 897905-05325. Under contract number 3, Stilson Road improvements. This is pay request number 1. The total amount of that work would be $78,050. We are paying the invoice, paying this 10% retainage, and we recommend approval. This is a resolution that needs to be done, approved by City Council so that we can submit to EDA for reimbursement.
We've completed Stilson Road, correct?
We're still under construction.
Oh, still, okay.
And for clarification, the funds for this come from?
We received an EDA grant and then another portion of it is being paid by the TERS.
The TERS. So I make, a motion that we approve resolution R 2023-89, approving the pay request, to Carter Construction for the Stilson Road Improvement Project.
Okay, I have a motion to approve, second by Tanya. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item G passes. Item H, consider with possible action on resolution R 2023-90, approving pay request number 2 by Carter Construction for the work completed in the month of August on the Stilson Road improvements.
Mayor, as stated, this is pay request number 2. It is in the amount of the work completed is $679,831.60. We paid it in maintenance, the 10% retainage fee.
I make a motion that we approve resolution R 2023-90, to pay request number 2 to Carter Construction for the Stilson Road Improvement Project.
Okay, I have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item H passes. Item I, consider with possible action on resolution R 2023-87, submitting notifications or nominations for the Liberty County Appraisal District directors.
Mayor and council, this it's the time of year where all of the taxing entities in Liberty County get to make nominations for the CAD Board of Directors. And in your packet, you have a list. There are 5 directors that are voted on in the county. And at this stage, you're not actually voting for anybody. You can nominate up to 5 people, or 1 person, or however you want to do it. You can nominate up to 5 per entity. Then what will happen is at a later date, the CAD will send us a full list of everyone who was nominated. And once you get that list, you can you'll have a certain number of votes as a city based on your tax base, and you can either give all those votes to 1 person and divide them up between people, or however. But an individual has to have 834 votes to be able to get placed on the board. And I know we do not have 834 by ourselves. Don't know exactly how many we do have, but I know we don't have enough to do it alone. So, but the point of tonight's meeting for this item is to simply nominate anyone. So I'll just read out right now the folks who are currently on there are Bobby Ray Coates from Cleveland, Mark Scholander from Dayton, Dana Holst, he's from Hardin, it says Liberty, but he lives in Hardin, Josh Day from Dayton, and Mark Herndon from Liberty. And then Richard Brown's the tax assessor collector, he's an ex officio on there.
So they don't have a secretary right now?
I guess, yeah, I guess they don't, but they only have 5 board members, so maybe the secretary was John Hebert Jr. I don't know, I'm just guessing because he just resigned. He got replaced with Mark Herndon. But that replacement where Mr. Herndon was put in to fill a vacant term, that only lasts until first of the year. Then they all have to get reappointed again.
So do we do this like others where we'll get a form that we need to fill out?
What y'all do here is you would just nominate amongst, like you can say, I move that we nominate whomever, right? If you want to do these 5 or whoever you wanted to, then they would then, if they're willing to do it, there's a form they fill out with the CAD. So you can nominate somebody. So you nominated Russell. He would have to fill out the form with the CAD to be voted on, to be on it. So you could nominate him and he could say thanks but no thanks, and he wouldn't be on the ballot.
And this is just a temporary one until?
No, this would be
Full-time?
This is for your full-time 5 board members moving forward. So again, these are the appointments, the nominations, and then later this year we'll come back and you'll vote. How do you want to give your votes to, sort of a thing.
Applications in your packet.
Yeah, but they don't fill that application out and give it to us. They'll fill that out and give it to the CAD.
After we nominate.
after you nominate them, yes, sir.
So we need to come up with 5 names then.
Yes, sir. And our deadline is October 15th.
Okay, I was hoping you weren't gonna say right now.
I don't know if we have another meeting before October
We did
15th.
not. That's
why I sent it to him
Yeah,
last week.
so-
Yes.
So this is our only
This week we need to do
meeting.
this tonight.
Thank you for letting us know that.
I did.
Our packet was sent to us and she sent us an email.
Yes, she did
Like
say,
last
remind me
minute.
to, yeah.
I appreciate it. I said thank you.
But correct me if I'm wrong, this information is made available to us. There are 5 people already on the board. We don't have to make,
You don't have to nominate anybody.
we don't have to do anything.
And you
It's
can nominate
already-
the 5 people that are on there, 1 person that's on there, you don't have to do 5, you can do 1. Or you
Or
can
you can do
nominate
none.
somebody new.
That's right. Or anybody new.
So we would collectively,
So say if somebody wanted to nominate, I'm just gonna keep picking on Russell. If somebody wanted to nominate Russell, I'm gonna laugh when one of you do here in a second. But, if somebody wanted to, a council member, it would be just like anything else. I move that we nominate Russell to be on it. You get a second and you vote. Then, then you could do a vote on each individual person. So you could do a vote on that person. Then somebody else could move to nominate someone else. And then it can't be a city employee. That's really one of the only rules that it has in here.
so I'm gonna throw something out there. Someone that's been very consistent and consistently beating us up on the CAD, or on the numbers. I actually wanna nominate Ms. Sarah Vickery to the Liberty County Appraisal District.
But you gotta get somebody else to do it since you can't make the motion.
Oh, I can't make the motion. Okay, well, I'm putting that out there.
Yes, sir, yes.
If I can get a motion for that.
Watch for the rock line.
Would that be something Ms. Vickery would even be interested in?
She's already gone.
No, she isn't.
Ms. Vickery, can you stand up so we can see you on the chair, please?
I'm always interested in doing something that helps people. So if y'all think that I'm a good candidate, sure, I'll fill out the paperwork.
Can I get a motion?
No, gotta get up.
Huh? Yeah, I got a motion. I need a second, right?
Second.
Okay, I got a motion and a second.
Who made the motion? I'm sorry.
Tanya.
I actually didn't make the
Oh.
motion. I was looking at Jeanette.
Oh, I thought I
She
heard
wanted
you.
to make
Okay,
the
I'm sorry.
motion.
I'm sorry. So Jeanette made the motion. Do I have a second? Does anybody else want to nominate someone else?
Maybe you can nominate someone that Brendan just mentioned.
Does someone want to nominate Russell?
Brandon, will you read out the names again, please?
Yes, ma'am. So the current folks are Bobby Ray Coates from Cleveland, Mark Scholander from Dayton, Dana Holst from Hardin, Josh Day from Dayton, and Mark Herndon from Liberty. So Josh Day and Mark Scholander are currently the 2 that are on there from the Dayton area.
And who are the entities that vote on these?
All taxing entities in Liberty County. School, city, county, and the ones that you get your number of votes that you can cast based on how big your tax levy is. So Liberty County has a much larger, they have, get the most money, so they have more votes cast. Each school district typically has the second most as you trickle down the various local governments. And then it typically would come to us as the cities, and then.
And even if we nominated someone, doesn't mean they're gonna get it.
That's right.
It has to be.
So you can nominate somebody and it still then goes to the vote of all taxing entities in the county.
So are we doing nothing tonight? Are we gonna sit in silence?
Do they have to make a nomination? They
No,
cannot.
no, you don't have to, you don't have to nominate anybody. You just, when we come back to
I
vote,
agree.
odds are it will be some more people plus this group is who you'll be casting your votes on.
So we'll be voting on someone else's nomination instead of our own.
Remember, you already have two from Dayton that's listed.
As long as they get nominated,
As long as
yeah.
they get nominated.
Right.
I'll
Mark
nominate,
Scholander from
Josh
Dayton
Day.
and Josh Day from Dayton.
I'll nominate
Josh
Josh
does
Day.
it because of the school district.
I'll second Josh Day. Okay. So we have Josh Day nominated and second.
All in favor of Josh Day?
Aye.
All opposed? Josh Day it is.
Thank you.
You did 4-1.
Do we want to do any more? We're rolling down this track right now.
Right. On the, are we going to the board adjustment at this point?
Yeah, let's move to item J. Consider with possible action on resolution R 2023-85 regarding the appointment of Board of Adjustments.
At your last council meeting, we had made the decision that city council would appoint someone to the Board of Adjustment. It's a 7-member board. We have a list of people to serve on the Board of Adjustment. Will be John Gable, Lynette Foster, Thibodeau, Russell Payne, Alicia Dale, Richard Gable Watson, Nan Hedrick, and Taylor Choate. So, does city council appoint these members?
So, can I get a motion to approve the nominees for the Board of Adjustment?
Make a motion to approve.
I got a motion approved by John, a second by Jeanette. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Item J passes. Item K, consider with possible action on resolution R 2023-91 to approve hiring a consulting service for strategic planning workshop.
Mayor and City Council, staff has been researching consultants for a strategic planning workshop. We did have someone that was available to hold the workshop. That workshop, the earliest date in which they can come would be December the 9th. And we're looking to hold it probably a half-day workshop based on what we received as a cost for it. But we asked the city council to pass a resolution authorizing us to get the workshop established for the strategic plan not to exceed a total amount. And I would suggest at least 13,000 has been that number. Right now, it's looking to be about 7,000.
And with that would be here?
It would be here,
Okay.
and it'd be a half-day section of city council.
I would go on record saying, to me, I think it's a waste of money. And the reason why I say that, we've had these in the past. We've had one that cost over $20,000, and I can assure you, they got up and talked a bunch of stuff, put it on the chalkboard, called everybody by their name, and nothing ever come of it. And this is more than once. I think the city as a whole can come together as management, department heads, council, can come up with what we need to fix or what we need to do in the future. I don't think we have to have someone come from outside to tell us we need to fix the roads, we need an overpass, we need to put more rooftop. I don't see why we're doing that. Well, we've already been told that numerous times. Again, I've probably worked for the city for many, many years, sitting in council meetings, sitting in these type of things, and it's never anything come of it other than it costs us a lot of money. And that's my 2 cents.
So, correct my understanding of this. This is a planning session where we, as city council, have the opportunity to go in and voice what we want as direction for the city. What is the purpose of the facilitator to just take all of that down and put it into a spreadsheet?
He would take that information down and put it in a report and pass out to you.
Okay.
Now, the thing you use in facilitator a lot of times is to organize the meeting. And if I must say, City Council, you have given us direction as staff based on us doing a capital improvement plan and also going out for bonds. So, and you are aware of what needs to be done. I really feel that we need to take our street assessment, look at all our lift station, and come to a decision on what order and prioritize those that we would like to see done. I would tell you, in my experience, I haven't seen a consultant come in but take the information that staff give to them and listen to council and sort it all out in a nice format and give it back to us. We at a point, I do believe that this is something that we can handle internally. What we need is council and your willing body to be there and to open up and tell us what is your priorities based on the information that's provided. A consultant would not know the road conditions. He's gonna just ask you your opinion. He's not gonna know anything about our lift stations. He won't be able to tell you that. I'm gonna use my public work guys for that information to share with you. I really feel this is a time that we can sit together, and I think it's a time for staff and city council to come together and work together and make this list.
And based on having attended 2 of these, even though I'm sort of a newbie, I think we've done a great job of identifying what the issues are, and if we could at least get that information and review it as a team and then prioritize it, I think we would be set. But I think we know it's a matter of priorities.
And this is how it is. If I know you're a new council, and a lot of you say, well, we want the opportunity to do this as a new council, but I'm here to tell you the information that you're gonna get from your consultant is just leading the meeting. That's it. The information is gonna come from staff and from council. And what staff need is council to direct us, because we wanna make sure whatever we are doing is what council, since you're elected by the people, is what you guys will have us do. That's what we need most and foremost. It's direction from you all on what you'd like to see us cover first.
I am all for getting on the same page on the direction and priorities and goals and setting metrics for those things. I do feel that $7,000 to $13,000 as a cost for such a facilitator is extreme, in my opinion.
Is it just due, that cost, I mean, is it due to the time of the year it is?
It is not. Normally, this is what you pay for a city council strategic planning workshop. It's a little different from a DDC workshop where we get consultants come in and guide that workshop. They're not expensive, but as soon as you say city council, the number go up. I think the last time we had one was 2 years ago, and I believe it was 15,000. We looked it up, so it's quite a bit. And I will tell you, council, we have passed that out to you all, the priority from those. And I would tell you probably 75% of those items listed still need to be done today.
I move that we reject resolution number R 2023-91 to approve hiring a consulting service for strategic planning workshop.
You
We have a motion to reject with a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We need to notate the abstain?
Sure.
Okay. Oh,
Mr. Mayor, before we go into executive session, can I be a stickler on something and go back to item 9C? Just because I want to make sure, I'm going to come up here and show Ms. Cheryl this language that has to be said. Because I listened and I realized after the fact that it was a little different. Okay. And so, do you mind if we go back to that one and basically do a revote? It's the exact same ordinance. But is that all right, Mr. Mayor?
Sure.
We would just, assuming Ms. Cheryl's willing to amend her motion, and then you would do a second, another second, amended second, and another vote. We will make sure we're doing everything.
Okay, the one before the one.
That's what happened. See, because I moved that. I apologize. We'll make sure we do it right.
All right. So this is
9C.
C. All right.
I move that we approve ordinance 0-2023-19. Okay, that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.660798,710, which is effectively a 3.99% increase in the tax rate in the ordinance number 0-2023-19.
We have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Okay, I have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Thank y'all.